Imagine a situation where you've lost everything. Whether through earthquake or flood, tsunami or cyclone, volcano or conflict, what would your family need to survive? Imagine a situation where you've lost everything. Then a green box arrives, a shelter box. So bringing the whole concept a little closer to home, we're in the market town of Highworth, just north of Swindon. And this is where one particular gentleman is wanting to bring the whole initiative a little bit closer to his own community. We're off to meet Terry Williams, who's going to be camping out in this for over a week.
See you or your husband, and then she did want Edith, the local girl who was the suffragette.
Wow, so this is going to be your home for the next 7 days, Terry?
Yes, it is, yes. And I think it's going to be nice and cosy and, you know...
Well, I have to say, it's quite blustery outside, but it's remarkably peaceful in here,
It's not too bad, no, so should be all right, I think.
So tell us a little bit about how this came about in terms of your involvement.
Right, well, I've been in Rotary for about 6 years, heard a little bit about Shelterbox and was very impressed with what they do, and wanted to try and get people in Highworth involved to find out about Shelterbox and what they do around the world.
Well, that's all very well, but it's a very different concept to raising profile to actually sleeping in one of these for 7 days in February. Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, nothing like this. I used to camp when I was a scout, but that was a few years ago, you know, so no, this is something new, although I have been in training.
Oh, really? What sort of training have you been doing?
Well, I've been sleeping out I slept out for 6 nights over the last 3 weeks, so I'm reasonably confident that it's going to be fine.
So what do you see as the biggest challenge over the next 7 days?
Probably sleeping well at night, I should think, you know, but that's going to be the main challenge. And hopefully the other challenge is going to be keeping going and talking to people who want to come and see what's, you know, what Shelterbox is about and what's actually in the box.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because of course for you, you're going to be in here for 7 nights. This is to raise the profile of Shelterbox. Yep. But what about the people who would actually be living in one of these in a disaster zone? Tell us a little bit more about how this would look in that environment.
Well, it would look, the tent would look exactly the same. Okay, the main difference is going to be they'll have nothing except the tent and what is in the box, perhaps to help them survive. But you know, I think the main thing about it is once a shelter box goes to a family, it's theirs. So it belongs to them. They keep it for as long as they need it, and you know, I think it's a great concept.
So Terry, seeing you getting these things out of the box, there's an awful lot in there. It actually looks really heavy. Yeah,
well, in total the box weighs around about 56 kilos. Okay, the tent is the main bit, which is 30 odd kilos. So imagine taking this up a mountainside or something. Amazing how they do it. But it's great what's in the box, you know.
And looking at all the items here, I mean, there's all sorts of bits and pieces, and these are all sponsored and assisted by different organisations who get involved, aren't they?
Well, yes, but they still cost money to make, you know. And okay, you've got the cooking utensils, you've got the obligatory teddy, of course, the knitted teddy, and you've got a life straw which allows people to you know, sort out the water so that they've got drinking water and so on. And then you've got things for children. You've got a little activities bag here with books and so on for children.
So these are things that have been, a lot of thought has gone into exactly what's needed for survival, and that's all down to the founder himself, isn't it?
Yes, oh, very, very much so. He saw the need, and he's gradually developed what goes into the box over a period of time. So, you know, different parts of the world will get slightly different things in the box.
Well, so what have you got specially to help you survive in Highworth for the week?
Nothing. Nothing special. I think all of these things would serve me fine wherever. The only thing I don't really need is, of course, the mosquito net. Don't think we'll need that this week.
So how are you going to keep warm? Because I presume in colder climes they'll have blankets and so on, will they?
Well, yes, they would have their own clothing, but there's something still in the box, I think, which is the actual. There's a thermal sort of sleeping bag.
Right.
I'm not going to be using this one. I've got my own, I must admit. But hey, these are in the boxes, and they'll provide warmth. And of course, there'll be probably more people sleeping in the tent in a disaster area than just me, or me and a colleague.
I was going to say, is there going to be anybody with you during the weekend there?
I've got three volunteers from club who are going to be joining me for a night. If they enjoy it, well, they might stay another night, but I doubt they'll enjoy sleeping in proximity to me, if I'm honest.
So let's talk a little bit more about how the people of Highworth and beyond can actually be involved and how they can actually support Shelterbox.
Well, they can come along, have a look, first of all, see the sort of things that go in the Shelterbox, and then they can make donations, either in the buckets that we'll have around the place all week, or they can go onto our website and follow the links to the BT My Donate page.
Because the big thing at the end of the day is to raise not just awareness, but those all-important funds, so that we can prepare for the next disaster. Because one of the things I was reading, which is quite interesting, is that anybody who's involved in raising money for the box, each one costing about £590, and they can actually trace that to see where it actually goes.
Yeah, a box doesn't go out immediately. You send the money to Shelterbox. It will basically go into the pot, and when the next disaster occurs, wherever it is in the world, Shelterbox will designate a box to that donation, and then they advise the donor the box number, and you can then go onto the Shelterbox website, and you can basically track that box, see where it does actually end up.
Well, there's a lot of money to be raised, as you say, £590 per box. I believe it's Shelterbox's target of 50,000 a year.
Well, yes, yeah, they've got much bigger ambitions than I have. Okay, if we could raise enough for 4 or 5, I'd be really pleased. So we'll see how we get on.
Well, good luck to you. What we're going to do, we're going to watch you during the week, see how well you do, see how well you cope. I know you've got a lot of support from the residents of Highworth, your fellow Rotarians as well. Yep. So good luck. Congratulations for everything you're doing with Highworth and the Rotarians and Shelterbox, and we'll see you soon.
Yep, thanks very much.
Shelterbox relies on volunteers and donations to make its work possible. Your gift of time or money can help save lives and give new hope to families who've lost everything. Bringing shelter, warmth and dignity in the shape of a green box. Please support Terry and donate today.